Hey guys, so just so you know, we're going to do the inverse of matrices. However, I'm going to give you an online resource to do them because normally we'd use our calculator and I can't really explain it over calculator. You can look up this link right here if you want to. It's a YouTube video. Or you can go to this one right here. It actually finds the inverse for you. Alright, so just keep that in mind whenever we're solving these. So here's what you're going to do. So to find the inverse of matrix A, 2 by 2s are pretty easy. So your first step that you do is you find the determinant. So step 1, find determinant. So I would do 2 times 2 minus -3 times -1. So 4 minus 3, which should equal 1. And then you put that number under 1. If your number is 0, so if determinant is 0, then there is no inverse. Alright, so just keep that in mind. In this case, it's 1, so I'm going to use that 1 over 1, and I'm going to multiply it by my 2 by 2. However, we have to rearrange our 2 by 2. So this 2 and this 2 are going to switch spots, which really isn't going to change much. They're still going to stay 2's. And then you change the signs of the top right and the bottom left. So it's going to become a positive 1 and a positive 3. Now you multiply it by your determinant. So 1 over 1 would be 1, so it's going to stay the same. That would be the inverse matrix. So that's how you do the inverse of a 2 by 2. We're going to do it again on the next thing. So A right here. Step 1, find your determinant. So I would do -2 times -6 minus 3 times 4. That would be 12 minus 12, which would be 0. If your determinant is 0, there is no inverse, and you can stop right there. Now the reason why I gave you guys the calculator is for a 3 by 3. So there's a lot of steps to a 3 by 3 that I can't really fit into a video. I could, but I know there's going to be a lot of questions over it, so we're just going to use the calculator, which I would do if we were in class, and I would show it on the TI-84. So I gave you a link to Symbolab, which is this one right here. So you just go up to the top, select your matrix dimensions. So in this case, it's a 3 by 3. So I'm going to use 2, -4, 2, 1, 6, 1, and -3, -6, -3. And then you just hit go. If it says matrix is singular, that means there is no inverse because your determinant is 0. So I would just write on this one, no inverse. Alright, so I'm just trying to help you guys out. Again, we would do it in class, but it's a lot easier just to use that website. And again, that website is right here if you need it, which you will for the 3 by 3s. Alright, so moving on. It says we can translate any linear system into a matrix equation. So here's what you do. It's going to ask you to write it as a matrix equation. So the numbers that are the coefficients on the left-hand side are going to go in the first box. So it's going to look like this. -3, 1, 5, -4 times xy equals my two answers. And you can do it with a 3 by 3 as well. You just got to make sure it's in the right order. So we wrote that equation. This equation needs to be rewritten. So y minus z equals 1 because I subtract the 4. And the bottom one needs to be rewritten. So I'd add the x, so -2x minus y plus z equals -3. And then you can write your two equations, or three equations, sorry. So -1, 0, -2, because that's my x values in all those equations. My y's would be 3, 1, -1. There is no z in the top equation, so I put a 0, -1, 1, times xyz equals -2, 1, -3. So that's how you'd write it. Now to solve it, there's a couple different ways to go about this. So you're going to take the left-hand side and find the inverse of that and then multiply it by that. So I'm going to show you what we do. So it says solve the linear system by the inverse matrix method. So I'd write my matrix. This one's already in order for you. Times my xy equals 3, 1. Now, step 1 would be find the inverse. So I'm going to take 4 times 7 minus -5 times -3. So I'm going to find the inverse of this 2 by 2. So 28 minus 15 would be 13. So you would take 1 over 13 times, don't forget, I have to switch spots, so this is the second step. So 7 and 4 switch spots, and the signs of 5 and 3 change. Then you multiply it. Leave it as a fraction, so 7 over 13, 5 over 13, 3 over 13, 4 over 13. Okay, and the last step to solve these, what you're going to do is you're going to take your matrix that you just got, times your x and y answers that we had in the original equation. So that would be 21 over 13 plus 5 over 13 for my first one, and then my bottom one's going to be 9 over 13 plus 4 over 13. So when you add those, I get 26 over 13 and 13 over 13, which translates into 2 and 1. The top one's going to be your x, the bottom one's going to be your y, so my answer is 2, 1. Again, you can use that online calculator to get to this step, guys, and then multiply it by the x and y. So if I gave you a 3 by 3, you can do the same thing. So I'm going to say, write the matrix, find the inverse. This one's already given to everything in order. So my 3 by 3 would be this. I'm going to go to that online calculator, find the inverse of that. So we're going to go up here and change these numbers. 0, 13, sorry, 3, -4, -1, -2, 3, 3, -4, -10. So I'm going to find the inverse. When you do that, you get something that looks like this. So this is my inverse. So I'm going to write that down. So I would take -32 over 43. So I found my inverse, and you multiply it by the answers that you had above. So -18, 16, and -31. So I would take that, and you should be able to take your answer and multiply it. Should be a button in here. To multiply it. Or we can do it on here. So your calculator can also do that. You can multiply matrices. But we're going to do these 3 times these 3. So that would be your first number. Then you would do row 2 times these 3. And guys, usually whenever you have fractions, they will eventually simplify to give you an actual answer. So whenever you multiply and add them all together, you're going to get your 3 answers. This will be your x, this will be your y, this will be your z. The 3x3s are not on the test, the 2x2s are. The 2x2s are a lot easier, obviously. If you need help with any of this, just let me know. Send me an email and I'll help you guys out. Again, use that calculator to your advantage. You can also use your actual calculator to help you out. There is a video online, or you can just use this. I will attach the YouTube video to this lesson. Again, if you have questions, let me know. This is the last lesson, and then I'll put a review up. You guys can do the review, or you can start the test. You have a week and a half to complete the test. So the last day would be May 8th.